Hey everyone, welcome back to our RPG Alliance Convention's Game Master Profile Series. I'm here with Trevor Russ, who is not only one of our superstar volunteers and done a lot of community outreach this year, so thank you Trevor, but he's also bringing Dungeon Crawl Classics. So Trevor, you're bringing us Dungeon Crawl Classics from DMing Games. Tell us a little bit about the game and why you want to run it at this year's con.
So Dungeon Crawl Classics, or DCC, which is a lot easier to say, from DMing Games. I didn't even know it existed a few months ago until Chris mentioned it at one of the Star Trek games. And he just mentioned it in passing that he played this game at last year's Gen Con and had a wonderful time, and it sounded like so much fun. And I was looking at getting back into D&D, so I took a look into this, and the more I read about it, the more I knew I had to play it. And I figured the only way I could play it soon is if I ran it myself. So I started looking into it and picked up the quick start rules, and they have a fantastic, just slimmed down version of the rules with a free couple of modules inside to get started. And it's an old school D&D system. So it's based on the original D&D back in the 70s. And they've modernized it to some of the more recent versions of D&D, like 3.5 and 4E. But it's got a real old school feel to it. So things are a lot simpler. There aren't a crazy number of classes. There's only like 7 classes in total.
Trevor, I got the chance to play at one of your play tests. And what I liked about it is I had 4 characters and things got bloody pretty fast. And you call it the funnel.
Yeah.
Explain that a little bit.
So in DCC, a funnel is where every player gets to play 4 randomly generated 0-level characters. And the neat thing about DCC is these are peasants you're playing. They don't have any skills. They don't really have weapons. They just have makeshift pitchforks and shovels and pens and bags of flour and wooden bowls. And you throw them into an adventure and see what the players come up with. And what's interesting is that some of these characters have pretty lousy stats, and a lot of players aren't used to that. Coming from D&D, they're used to sculpting their player and min-maxing and coming up with a huge backstory. Here, you're playing characters with a 3 strength or a 5 intelligence, and you have to make it work. And a lot of players look at them almost in dismay. So they quickly find which characters they want to protect and see it through, and which characters they're willing to sacrifice. And
Fodder.
Yeah, exactly. And what's interesting is, given how random the characters are and how poor some of the stats are, some of the players really become attached to them by the end, and there's ones that they really don't want to die and they want to move on, because when you get through the funnel, any of the characters that survive, and it's usually pretty brutal, because that's the idea of it, the ones that survive level up, so they go to level 1 and on to further adventures into DCC, because DCC isn't just the funnels. That's just how they start building a character. So unlike D&D, where you pre-generate a character and you come up with all this, like I said, the backstory. This one, you build a character, you're given randomness, and you build it through adventure and through trial.
Organically.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've just seen players can become really attached to them. In fact, we have one game where one of the players still talks about his halfling triplets and their pole vaulting babysitter. So
I like the one where we had a female player that was throwing her cat at everything. Every time they go in a room, throw her cat. It was fantastic.
Yeah, we have, because your players start with stuff, so they might start, a farmer will start with a chicken or a cow, or they might start with a pet cat, or so we get people doing all kinds of bizarre things. But she was phenomenal. She hadn't played much role-playing games prior to that. I think she said maybe only 5 sessions of 5th edition. But she was fantastic because she just tried everything, and she wasn't afraid to lose characters. She lost 3 out of 4, but she had a great time.
Trevor, you've been one of the most active game masters in running the playtest series this summer at Titan's Vault, a gaming store in the Northwest Calgary by Brentwood Mall that we love to play games at. tell us about your experience this summer.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been nerve-wracking because I haven't DM'd for a long time. So having your group to do that through was a great place to start because there's a lot of great people there. I've run 4 games so far. Every game I've had somebody returning and somebody new. So that's been a lot of fun because you've got people who can build on their previous experiences and you've got people who it's totally new to them. Such a different concept, being willing to let go of your characters because you knew they were going to die.
They're gonna die.
So anything can happen in DCC and everybody was laughing. So, and to me that's what you want. If you're running a good game, everybody's laughing and having a good time, and that's all I'm after.
Well, that's it for us today from Zero Issue Brewery. I want to thank Mark and Kurt for letting us film here. And I also, again, want to thank Trevor for being one of our best volunteers. What you do for us, I can't put into words, so thank you very much. And I think you've got some thank yous you want to send out too.
Yeah, well, first, you're welcome. And it's been a lot of fun. I want to thank DMing Games for their support, sending out free stuff and having fun with it. And Titan's Vault, of course, because they're an awesome local gaming store. And Vicky, I want to thank you because of the work you've done building this great community, and I met a lot of fantastic people and made new friends, and I'm having a lot of fun with it, so thank you.
And that's the whole point of the convention, folks. So if you want to come down, meet the community of Calgary for role-playing games, check us out October 20th at Dickens Pub. Tickets are available at tableevents.com. We've got 2 programs, 4 hours each, so 1 badge gets you 2 games. And we have a lot of great door prizes from Galaxy Gaming Gear that are helping with Trevor's setup, as well as Grimforge and a lot of the publishers like DMing Games, Mongoose Games, Modifius Entertainment. So it's going to be a fun event. Come out, meet some friends, have a good time, drink some Zero Issue beer, and we'll see you at the con.